Nikki, when are you going to get back home from shopping?
I just came out of the store a second ago. I'm going to stop by the dry cleaners now, and I'll be on my way home. So that shouldn't take me too much longer, okay?
So you're still not on your way home yet? Don't you think that you're taking a little too long with all of that? I just asked for a few things, and you told me that you'd only be getting groceries there.
I'm sorry about that, Beth. The things that you asked me to find for you at the supermarket were pretty hard for me to find. So I had to go try out another store where I was lucky enough to find what you'd asked me for.
But I'm telling you that all of that took you way too much time to do. As a wife, you need to do better at using your time in a more efficient way. It's almost been 3 hours now since you left the house. That's a huge waste of time.
Alright, I'll try better next time. I had to stop at the gas station to get more gas for the car on the way out, but I promised to be quicker about things like that.
Ah, that's right. Tomorrow morning I'll be going with some friends to the spa. So let me have the car for the day. I won't be home until later that evening, so that'll be the perfect time for you to get all my laundry done, as well as cleaning my whole room.
I'm sorry, but I have to go to the hospital tomorrow.
Are you going again for your skin or something?
Yes.
Is there even any reason for you to still be going in for that? I can tell you right now that that nasty skin of yours is never going to get any better.
But if I don't go in to see my specialist, then they're not going to continue to give me the medicine I need. And I have to stay on that medicine now since I've already been on it for a year now.
But what I'm saying is that even with the medicine you're getting, your skin has still not gotten any better. If it was getting better, then I'd be fine with you going in again. But I'm saying that since it's been a long time now and nothing seemed to have changed with you, there's no need in wasting time with those doctors.
But if I don't continue to use the medicine that I'm on, my skin will go back to being even worse than it is now. It'll become way more itchy as well, and I won't be able to focus with how annoying the itchiness gets.
Even if your skin is to go back to being worse than it is now, it's not going to change the fact that you're ugly. Nobody even cares about how you look now. You're better off just letting your skin fester.
What?
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I've always been a bit too blunt with what I have to say. But your skin is all rashy and gross, right? Well, people with skin that's nasty like yours will never be able to make it as a pretty woman. So I'd say that you should quit wasting time and money trying to achieve the impossible, and put that time towards focusing on me.
Well, the reason for my skin being this way is due to a disease I have. Even if I want it to go away, the actual healing process takes a long time. And it's not likely that I'll ever get rid of it perfectly. The goal is just to try and keep the medicine in me so that it'll stop looking as raw and I can be out in the sun more.
Well, that's nothing I really care to know about. Either way, tomorrow, you going to the hospital is going to have to wait until after I'm back from the spa. If you can respect me right now, then I'll continue to allow you to be married to my son. Knowing that, you'll respect my demand, right?
Understood.
I don't even know why I'm having to talk to you about this right now. But you need to make sure to take our relationship a bit more seriously, okay? Remember that everything that has to do with me comes before anything that has to do with you. That's how things are supposed to be when your mother-in-law is living in the same house as you.
Alright, I'll make sure to be more careful from now on.
And as for that skin condition you have, that disease can't be spread to anyone else, right?
That's right. technically it has all to do with my own immune system, so it isn't like some virus that can be spread to anyone through water or blood.
Today, when having a look at my son's face, I noticed a spot that started to turn pretty red.
Perhaps that had something to do with the face wash he used last night not going so well for him. He told me he was trying out a new one to see if it'd work.
Well, if that's all that it is, then I'd be happy. Because of you, I have to explain all of this stuff in detail to everyone around the neighborhood. It's really such a pain for me. Always asking me what's happened to my son's wife's face all the time. That's all I ever hear from people now.
I'm sorry that you have to blame me for that.
If you feel sorry for what you're doing to me with that skin of yours, then maybe find a way to fix it. I always stay up late wondering why my son had to marry a deformed woman like you. If my husband was still alive, he'd never let my son marry a monster like you.
But from what I've heard, my father-in-law would have worried more about the person I am inside than about my looks.
Well, he was the kind of man that thought about people's hearts and judged them that way. He was even nice enough to bring that dirty dog into our house to live. That poor thing should have died out on the streets, but he made sure it had a home and family to be loved by. But just because he had such a sweet heart doesn't mean he'd be okay with a monster in the family.
Beth, I should be home sooner than later, right? I really need to get going to the dry cleaners now, so I think we should call it a day.
What? You still haven't went over there yet?
I have to drive the car, and so I can't be texting you and driving. I just plan to finish up our conversation and then head out towards the dry cleaners.
If that was the case, then you should have told me that sooner. You're not only ugly looking, but you have zero common sense. Now, hurry up and get going. Hey, ugly duckling. Where are you at right now?
Huh? Are you calling me an ugly duckling now?
Who else would I be calling that? Are there any other people on your end of the phone that are worse looking than you? So, can you tell me why you're not home right now?
I'm out right now with my husband getting something to eat.
Huh? And you just leave me here at home?
I'm sorry, but you told us that you had plans to go out shopping with your friends and that you'd be having lunch with all of them.
My friends had some things come up on their end, and so I had to come back home. And I just thought I could come home and have something to eat here. Why did you leave the house without thinking of me? If you guys had plans, you should have let me know about them first.
I'm sorry.
This isn't the kind of problem where you can just apologize your way out of. Come back home this instant.
Okay, I'll let my husband know that.
Wait, you don't have to go telling my son about this.
Huh? But it was him that drove us out to eat, so...
You let my son take his time to eat whatever he'd like while he's already out of the house. You're the only one that I'm asking to have come home.
The both of us came here in one car, so I can't just leave him here while I come back home.
I really cannot use this family's ugly duckling for anything, can I? For times like this, where you plan to go out without telling me, at least to make up some dishes in case I have to be home.
I'm sorry, I didn't think I'd need to make anything for you today, though. But if you don't mind, there's some boxes of mac and cheese in the cupboard that you can make up.
You're asking me to eat mac and cheese now? And worse than that, you want me to make it all by myself? You really are the worst wife ever.
Is that wrong of me to ask you that?
You know very well that that is wrong of you. I am fed up with you trying to make this whole situation into some kind of joke. I've had enough now. I'll call and order some delivery. From now on, though, if you're going to be going out to mess around, make sure I have a meal ready for me to eat in the fridge.
Okay.
Ever since you came into my house, my stress has been through the roof. I assumed that you living with me would make my life easier, but an ugly, no common sense, useless wife. I wonder if it's time for me to find my son a better wife to get married to.
I promise that I'll try even harder now to do what I can to make sure that you'll respect me more. So please do not say things like that about us.
Then hurry up and become a proper wife that I'll be willing to respect. You had to start at an even lower rank than most other women because of your gross sickness. So you'll have to work even harder for me, if you want me to like you. Bow to me and do as I've asked. Ugly duckling, have I heard that you've become pregnant?
Huh? Why do you ask that?
Because there are some magazines in your room talking about life being pregnant.
You went into our room? I remember asking you to never go in there without our permission a while back.
You left your room's door wide open, so I walked by. I caught a glimpse of the magazines.
Is that so?
So, are you pregnant or not?
I am. I was waiting for a good time to come and tell you the news about becoming pregnant.
Is that right? But I'd like you to stop.
Huh?
What the hell would I do if you gave birth to a child that looked like you? I would never be able to love a grandchild with skin as disgusting as yours.
Beth, what are you saying right now?
I'm asking you to get rid of that child for me.
Asking something like that gives me good reason to become upset with you. I'm having my baby whether you like it or not.
But what'll happen if the baby ends up with your looks? A baby with a gross face and nasty skin is never going to be cute. No matter if they're a girl or a boy, their life will be ruined right from the start.
The chances of the baby getting the same disease as me are very low. And even with this kind of sickness, I'm completely happy with the way I've turned out.
That's only because you've realized early on that you're an ugly duckling. Normal people would never be able to live happily when their skin looks like it's been burned multiple times. That's right, there will be a memorial for my husband soon. And so a lot of my family and friends will be coming. And during that time, I'll let them all have a good look at your face. You never had a wedding for us, so they all don't know quite yet the extent of how bad your skin looks. They're all going to be shocked when they see you in person.
I don't care that they'll come and see me. I've been trying to hide my skin from anyone in the first place.
I'm so looking forward to that memorial. When they all have a good look at you and start calling you ugly and gross, you'll understand to give up on having that baby. None of them, and I mean none of them, will think it's okay for an ugly child with the looks of you to be born. But before something like that has to happen to you, I'd rethink your stupid choice of going through with having the baby, or else you'll have to live through that hell. Ugly duckling, where are you at right now?
I don't think it's necessary for me to tell you where.
Now you're going to start talking back to me again? You just got up and left in the middle of the ceremony, and now I can't find you anywhere to ask that you apologize to me.
I ran off because you stood there right in front of everyone, and instead of talking about your husband's passing, you started going off about my face and skin. I don't mind that everyone can see me in the skin I have, but standing in front of them and making fun of my disease is a whole different matter.
The only person that should be upset right now is me. It's because of that gross face of yours that all of my family and friends have left. It's because they all felt sick to their stomachs that they weren't even able to eat the food that had been prepared for all of them.
That's what you'd like to think, right?
You'd better be ready to pay for all this wasted food for me. All of this amazing food going to waste because of some ugly girl that hasn't learned her place. I can't stand having a wife like you married to my son anymore. Get out of my family.
Are you sure that's okay? Having me leave your family?
Of course it's okay for you to get lost. I cannot stand the look of your skin any longer. At least now that you won't be around me anymore, you can give birth to that messed up child. But just make sure you divorce my son before that happens. I'm going to find him a healthier and far more beautiful woman that he can marry in your place.
Beth, you really are so much of a fool that you can't even begin to see the troubles that you're creating today.
Huh? You're calling your own mother-in-law a fool just like that?
I am. You are the perfect example of what an absolute dunce looks like. Why would you happen to fit the description so well, Beth? Well, that's because by kicking me out of the house, your son will be leaving as well. Neither of us will be around to care for you anymore, and you'll be on your own to make sure that you can stay happy and alive.
There's no way my own son would throw me away that easily. I am the mother that raised him since birth, and made him the man he's become.
Even if you are his mom, you just made enemies with his wife after bullying her, and then asked that she doesn't give birth to her baby because she believes it will turn out to be a monster. Your son told me he doesn't want to be around you anymore. He said that just now.
Huh? Right now my son is with you?
Yes. After leaving the house when you started to make fun of me, he came chasing after me to see that I was okay. And it wasn't just him that came to see me, but also a lot of the family and friends that were inside that came out to make sure I was okay.
Huh? They're all with you as well now?
Right now, we've gone out to have lunch at a different location.
Why? They should have all gone home and left you, right?
They were all worried about me, so my husband told them where we were at.
Why would they all worry about some ugly duckling?
You really have no clue, do you? The only reason everyone started leaving that place was because you started to act like a monster when you kept making fun of me and my disease. It wasn't my skin or my face that put them all off. It was all due to how black and malformed your character is.
There's no freaking way I'd be the one that made them all leave. They've all known about me way longer than you. Why would any of them choose to be on the side of some new wife who looks like a soggy napkin?
Maybe it's because they've known you so long that they were disgusted by how you acted today. This is what happens when the person people thought they knew turns out to be a jerk and a bully. Everyone told me that it was unbelievable that someone they knew so closely would make fun of someone's sickness. So I think that most of the friends and family will no longer be talking to you.
You're lying, right?
This is not a lie at all. I think them all leaving that place without even eating a bite of the food you prepared is the perfect evidence to back up what's happened.
You tell all of my family and friends to get back here right now.
Why would I do that?
Because they all need to know the truth.
What truth?
That I was only joking about your face as a way of lifting the mood surrounding my husband's passing. Tell them all that right now.
Even if I do tell them it was just a joke, I think they'll understand how inappropriate it was. They knew that all you said was inappropriate, and that's why they left.
Are you okay with the way things are right now?
I am. Nothing is bothering me about the way things have ended up.
All right then. If the ugly duckling can tell all my family and friends that it was just a friendly joke, then I'll let you continue to be my son's wife. You told me you'd do your best to gain my respect, right?
I don't need your respect anymore, Beth. You told me to give up on having my baby. So ever since then, I've given up on worrying about what you think of me.
Then you're saying you're completely fine with getting divorced from my son?
Having you respect me or not, and the relationship I have with my husband are two completely separate things. Your son is even telling me he plans to cut all ties with you now. And soon, we'll be out of that house for you. Just think of the two of us as strangers from now, okay?
Hold it right there, you! I am not going to allow you to do that.
And so what, Beth? I couldn't care less what you think of this. We are leaving. Someone like you judging us and trying to give your opinion has nothing to do with me.
But can we at least have a chance to discuss in further detail what happens next?
We're not going to discuss anything anymore. Us choosing to leave that house has been set in stone now.
You are both living with me now, so you can't just leave without my say.
But we can, Beth. We sure as hell can. I remember just a little bit ago you saying you wanted me out of the house, right? So I'm doing just as you've asked, and I'm leaving.
That was just because you made all the family and friends leave without eating anything. I was just in a really bad mood then. Right now, I don't believe that you have to leave my house.
Whether it was just you getting upset or not at that time, that doesn't change the bigger picture. I'm not going to remain your punching bag any longer.
I'll apologize for what happened. Let's just forget about what happened today, okay?
What do you mean, what's happened this time?
I'm talking about how I made fun of you in front of everyone today. Look, I've apologized now, so you can explain to all of them what's happened, okay?
Your son and I cutting ties with you doesn't just have to do with what's happened today, though, Beth. This is all due to months and months of you being a real jerk. A monster, even. And besides, there was something I really can't forgive you for, and that's when you told me to give up on my baby. I'm the only one that knows best about my disease and what it all entails. But for some reason, you act as though you know better than me, and that's what's made me so upset now. Yet even though I'm the one that knows myself best, you came and told me that I shouldn't have a baby because of your own selfish concerns.
I'm just really worried about you guys.
Do not throw the word worried at me as though you actually cared more about me and my baby over yourself. If anything, it looked like you were having fun while harassing me.
I was not having fun back then. I was just being blunt with you about what I thought. I can't keep all my emotions in when it comes to caring about my son's wife, okay?
So you're saying I should forgive you because you're a natural bully then? If you wanted to help me by saying those things, then maybe you should have tried a little harder to understand me first before acting that way.
All right, I get it now. I was wrong about everything. I'm sorry for making fun of your gross skin. And as for your kid, I won't say anything else about them. So please stop talking about cutting ties with me. Now, please just forgive me for all of that.
I will not be forgiving you.
I just freaking apologized to you, though. Why can't you just be nice to me and just forgive what's been done?
I'm not sure if that was a real apology, and it seems to me you still haven't learned from your mistakes yet. I'm not going to be seeing you anymore after this. So there's no point in asking for my forgiveness now.
Hey, I'm trying to call my son right now, but he's not picking up the phone. And as for my family and friends, none of them will reply to me either.
That's because everyone is agreeing to block you for good. I plan to do the exact same thing as them, so I'll be going now.
Wait, I promise that I will properly apologize to you in person. Please, Nikki, please do not throw me away like the rest of them have. My husband is long gone now, so you'll just be leaving me all on my own.
If you are regretting what's all happened now, use your time by yourself to understand that this was all due to you being a selfish prick. I don't want to deal with someone like you anymore.
I'm so sorry. I really am sorry for what I've done and have learned from it all. So I promise that I'll never ever say or do anything to hurt you ever again.
No matter what you try and make me believe, the feelings my husband and I have for you are no longer able to be changed. I think the most ugly people on this planet are those that think it's okay to make fun of other people's health issues, just like you have. You've really made a huge fool of yourself these past few months. So, now that you'll have nobody around you anymore, take that time to fix the monster you've become. After that, we finished having lunch with all the family and friends that came to support me. And then once we'd finished, I went back to my parents' house. Because I am carrying a baby now. I didn't know what Beth would do to me if I had gone back to her house. And so, being at my parents' is the safest choice. And as for packing my things up at Beth's house, my husband and some of the family went and made sure that the move out would be smooth for me. And as they were all there packing my things up, Beth sat in the corner crying her eyes out while asking my husband to forgive her for what she'd done. Of course, my husband wasn't going to fall for any of her crap, and so he never said a word to her. And that was his last time ever seeing her before he'd left. Beth has tried time and time again to ask where we'd run off to and for the address, but everyone kept their mouths shut and never said a word to her. And luckily for that, my time being pregnant has gone uninterrupted by her, and that's been the most relaxing thing for me. I think it's amazing that her starting to bully me for the way my skin and face looked came all the way to her losing literally everyone in the family and all her friends just a few months later. Now, she may be the worst person to be around with a heart of black tar, but I am thankful that she gave birth to a generous and loving son. But besides that, there is nothing about that woman that's worth anyone being thankful for. And now that we've decided to cut ties with her, if she ever does run into us again, we'll look the other way and offer no help to her. I did hear, though, that after we had all left her, she was stuck alone in that house for quite some time. People around did say that they never managed to see her for months, but that one day she did come out, but was thin as a twig. The last thing I've heard about her since then, though, is that the following day an ambulance arrived at her house, and she was taken to a nearby hospital to never be seen again. We drove by her house once to see if she'd ever gone home, but by that point another family was in the house and it had been remodeled to a more modern look. A little while has passed since then, and I've been fortunate enough to give a safe birth to my child, with no problems whatsoever. Not only that, but the baby came out without the disease that I carry and seems to be in 100% perfect shape. Life from now on will be tough having to both raise and educate a little person, but having my husband around me still will make my life a whole lot easier than it was back at Beth's house. Even now, I am going to continue to be thankful for all those that have stayed by my side and helped me. And I will do my best to stay happy as I carry on with my life. It's only natural that in life you'll run into a few people that want to pick on you, but it's also because of them that one's heart can become even stronger. And after dealing with Beth, I'd like to say that my heart is as strong as a lion.